Hey, I'm Jay with Evannex, and today we're going to be performing a wheel hub DIY on this Model 3. This is also a great time to perform a brake service, so let's check out what tools we'll need for this job. You won't need a lot of tools for this job, but you'll need a little bit of an assortment to get the brakes off and get to the wheel hub. You'll need a ratchet and a torque wrench, you need a 21mm, an 18mm, and a 10mm socket, as well as an 1.25 inch to get that axle nut. You'll also need an E18 external torque, and an impact driver and a hammer. Let's get started. To remove the caliper, we're just going to remove these two bolts, which are 18 E-torques. And the Tesla directions do call for you to remove your brake line. However, you don't have to. To remove the rotor, we're going to remove our set screw. This one is a Phillips head. However, you may also have 10mm bolts, which we're actually going to be using to replace it. So this is an impact driver, and it is very helpful for these without stripping them. Now that the impact driver did most of the work, just use a screwdriver to get the rest of the way off. All right, now that we have our brake components out of the way, we're going to take off our wheel hub. Now, if you don't have an impact gun, which makes this very easy, you would do this before you take everything off by removing the axle nut, and you would do that by pulling the center cap off of your wheel and removing that axle nut with the vehicle on the ground. But because we have an impact wrench, we're going to do it with that. Comes right off. Now there are 3 bolts on the back of this assembly, where right around our CV boot, and those are an 18mm. We're just going to crack those loose. Let's remove the wheel hub. All right, we got our bolts out. We did hit it with a hammer a little bit to loosen it up. And it comes right out. All right, now that we have our hub off, before we install the new one, we're going to want to clean out this entire area. It's pretty corroded, so we want to get that nice and clean so that our new hub can be seated properly. We'll just use a Scotch-Brite to get some of the crusty stuff off, and we'll go back in with a towel and clean it up. All right, now we'll torque down our bolts to 85 Newton meters. So the last step for the wheel hub will be to tighten the axle nut, but we're not gonna be able to do that till the vehicle's on the ground and everything's put back together, because you cannot use an impact wrench on these or you'll damage the bearing. Like on most vehicles, swapping out this wheel hub is pretty simple. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and check back for more EV content.